Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, join me this week as my special guest is going to tell us all about happiness and how to achieve happiness. I have some tips on combining food and happiness together. But I first want to remind everyone that on Saturday, April 5th and Sunday, April 6th, I will be doing some springtime cooking demos at Buck's Country Gardens in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And on Saturday, April 5th, I'll be doing a cooking demo using edible flowers. And on Sunday, April 6th, I'll be doing a cooking demo using edible herbs. In the afternoon, on Saturday, April 5th and Sunday, April 6th. That's Buck's Country Gardens in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. You can find them online. Just look up Buck's Country Gardens, and the events are free. It's an open house there. It's really a lovely place. If you're into gardening or even not into gardening, this place will get you into gardening. But please join us. We're going to give recipe cards too for some of the recipes that I will be demoing, and you'll get to sample some of the recipes too. So please join us. So as mentioned, we are going to be talking about happiness today with my special guest, but I wanted to also just bring to mind how you can combine food to achieve happiness. So you have comfort foods. Comfort foods definitely make you happy. They, usually the smell of something like freshly baked cookies might remind you of your grandmother's kitchen or your mom's kitchen, and definitely bring a level of happiness. Of course, there's also mood boosting foods like, those foods that are rich in serotonin boosting things like dark chocolate, bananas, and nuts. And cooking can be a therapy to also help you achieve some level of happiness. There's a certain meditative and joyful aspect of preparing a meal. Cooking can be a way to unwind and channel your creativity. And as far as comfort food, well, comfort food is like a warm hug for the soul. It definitely connects us to cherished memories and moments in our lives. There is a psychology to comfort foods. So comfort foods often link us to our childhood or significant life events. Think of mac and cheese reminding someone of carefree family dinners, or an ice cream cone sparking memories of summer afternoon in the park. For me, one of my favorite memories of a comfort food is an Italian cream cake. We used to make this on certain Sundays with many of my cousins and my aunts and my grandmother. We would all get together and make the sponge cake. Italian cream cake has a sponge cake, and then there's the cream. So some of us would make the cream and some of us would help with the sponge cake, and there were many of us in the kitchen, and oh my goodness, it brings back such memories. So that for me is definitely a comfort food and a memory. And so comfort foods definitely bring us down memory lane. And these foods also act as an emotional anchor during tough times. They provide a sense of familiarity and a sense of security also. So another of my comfort food memories was I can remember spending Sundays in South Philadelphia, and we would go to Sunday Mass and then come home to my grandmother's kitchen. We'd be able to walk to her kitchen, and she would have a big pot of sauce with meatballs and sausage and braciole, if you know what braciole is, cooking on the stove for our afternoon meal. But we would all get a piece of bread and a little bit of the sauce and the meatballs or the sausage, and have a little bit of that while we were waiting for our afternoon meal. So we would come home from church to this big pot of boiling sauce and and it was just delicious. So that's another one of my comfort food stories. And what I wanted to do, I've been giving challenges all in the past few weeks. So my challenge this week is to invite you to reminisce about your own food related memories and send in your comfort food stories or recipes. So please do that. You can share that on social media, hashtag the Maria Liberati Show with a picture of your comfort food or a recipe or just the title of the recipe that is your comfort food. Let us know what your comfort food is. And if you'd like to tell us the story also, you can also share that on my blog for the Maria at the MariaLiberattiShow.com. And you can hashtag it the Maria Liberati Show as well. Or you can even share it on my Instagram account, which is at Maria Liberati. So please share your comfort food stories for our happiness segment. Again, hashtag it the Maria Liberati Show. Discover the timeless secrets of Italian cuisine with a Basic Art of Italian Cooking series by Maria Liberati. That's me. From fragrant basil to silky olive oil, each page is a culinary masterpiece. Taste the passion, embrace the tradition, and create your own masterpieces in the kitchen with my Gourmand World award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking. Buon appetito, and you can find the books on Amazon.com, Kindle, on MariaLiberati.com, and on the publisher's website, artoflivingprimamedia.com. And my special guest today is Dr. Alphonsus Obayuwana. Hopefully I said that right. He's a physician, scientist, and author of a book that I think we all want to hear about. It's called The Happiness Formula. And he has a formula for what? Happiness. Alphonsus, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me, Mary.
So tell us a little bit about this formula. How did you come up with it and the idea for a book on it?
Okay. In medical school, after the first 2 years of preclinical studies, you rotate through different departments: surgery, pediatrics, OBGYN, psychiatry, physical therapy. When I was in psychiatry, rotating through psychiatry, I helped to take care of 2 patients who were admitted for attempted suicide.
Oh my goodness.
And it was an eye-opener for me. And I was surprised that the 2 of them, either of them, just thought that life was not worth living. Yesterday is like today. Today is not going to be, tomorrow is not going to be different from today. So what's the use? And I was so convinced that if we were able to measure human hope, and we can find out people who have low hope, and pay attention to them soon enough, we can prevent suicide.
Oh, exactly.
So, because the assumption was that those that attempt suicide are people who are giving up on life.
Right, yes.
And because of lack of hope.
Yes.
So I mentioned it to my professors, and I thought they're going to say, you go and study your books. You don't have enough to do. About 2 months after that, there came a national call for all medical students in the United States to submit proposals for a study, not in biology or chemistry or physics or anatomy or physiology, but in a subject. And so my professor said, there you go. And it fell right in. And I applied. 5 students got it all over United States, out of all that apply in United States. And I was lucky to be one of them.
Oh, that's great. So tell us, what is the happiness formula?
Okay, that's the happiness formula is hope over hunger equals happiness. And I was just trying to tell you how I came across that, how that came.
Yes.
But that is the formula. Hope over hunger equals happiness.
Hope over anger equals happiness. Huh.
Yes.
Okay. And how do you, how do you get people to, are there any steps for that? Or obviously you have the, there's the book out that tells more about this happiness formula, but can you give us like some tips or steps that people can take? Not thankfully not everybody's on the level of wanting to commit suicide, but just every day, people that want to bring a little more happiness into their life. Um, what steps and or tips can you give to them?
Okay. First of all, Mary, please, let me just say that everything I'm going to talk about in the book and many much more. I wrote the book for 4 reasons. If I could just quickly go through that.
Sure.
Number one, I wanted to share with the world a very simple equation that I discovered by chance that makes it possible to measure happiness objectively and subjectively.
Right.
First time ever to measure happiness objectively.
Yes.
Number two, I wanted to share and introduce an instrument called the Edo questionnaire. It's a 12-item self-assessment tool that can identify and differentiate between good, happy people, unhappy people, very happy people, very unhappy people, languishing individuals, and flourishing individuals. There is no instrument available until now that can identify and differentiate between these two people, these 4 sets of people. Right? So, and the third one is to offer all happiness seekers a proven daily routine for achieving and sustaining a flourishing life. This is why I wrote the book. When we, Mary, are want to get physical fitness, we get into physical fitness class. Right? What do? We monitor our weight in pounds or kilograms.
Right.
When we are trying to achieve wealth, we monitor our finances accordingly. But we all want to get happier. But there's no way of measuring happiness until now.
Yes.
Okay, so if you say you are happier than what? All right. And people who call themselves happiness coaches that coach people to become happier.
Yeah.
How do you know if you can't measure it?
Exactly.
So this is why this book is a groundbreaking book. And I just wanted people to know that. And that is why this book was written.
I see. Oh, that's great. So, so people can actually, it's something that people can read and actually use the self-assessment tool and everything for their daily life then, correct?
Exactly. For myself, for full disclosure, my happiness score, which is called Personal Happiness Index, PHI. My PHI is 2.934. Okay. And it goes up to 8.
Oh, okay.
But I am, if you score 2 or above, you are in zone A.
There you go.
That is very happy people. Okay, I'm not flourishing yet. To be flourishing, you have to score 4 or above.
I see.
Okay, we all can get happier.
Yes.
And I'm still working on mine. I want to get into the flourishing stage. But right now, I'm still in zone A. I am very happy, but I can be happier. So when you have this book, you can self-assess yourself. And you know where you are.
Uh-huh.
Just as you would determine your weight,
Uh-huh.
your temperature,
Right.
this is it.
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. So tell us, because we're almost out of time, where can people find the book?
The book, the best place to find the book, Books A Million or Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon is probably the best because you don't even have to leave the house.
Okay. And it's the happiness formula.
It's called the Happiness Formula.
Great.
I am published in the medical journals, and you can also see me on YouTube.
Okay.
And Forbes
Uh-huh.
describe the book as one of the 5 most read books of 2024.
Oh, that's great.
All right,
Very good.
so
Yes.
it's there,
It's
and
definitely.
You can Google my name and Google the topic. It
Uh-huh.
is. I train and certify happiness coaches,
Oh, that's great.
and I just came from San Jose in Costa Rica,
Uh-huh.
presenting at the University of Peace. That's a UN mandated university,
I,
uh, and they were holding a global happiness summit for
uh-huh.
2025.
Uh-huh.
I was invited to speak and present a workshop,
Oh,
which
that's wonderful. That's
thank you.
wonderful. Really
Thank you.
exciting. Very good. All right. So, this is a great time of year too, because spring is starting and summer and everything. So we all want to be happy. So it's definitely a perfect time to get out of the winter doldrums and get into, the sunnier spring and summer and happiness. Thank you.
Happiness is not a luxury.
Right.
It's existential.
Exactly. Very good. Very interesting. Thank you so much for being here, Doctor. And so that's Dr. Alphonsus Obayuwana, and it's the happiness formula. Thanks again for being here and much success with the book.
Thank you, Mary, for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show. Thanks to my special guest this week, and thanks, as always, to my producer, Britton Roselle. And just a reminder, on Saturday, April 5th and Sunday, April 6th, I will be doing springtime cooking demos at the Bucks Country Gardens in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And you can get more information by looking up Bucks Country Gardens online, or you can go to my website at marialiberati.com and find some details. But the events are open and free to the public. So please join us on Saturday, April 5th. I'll be doing a cooking demo using edible flowers. And on Sunday, April 6th, I will be using edible herbs in my cooking demo. So please join us for those springtime demos. And just a reminder too, next week I will be starting our Mother's Day guide, selected products. I'll be telling you about the products that were selected for our Mother's Day guides. We will have more than one, but each week I'll let you know about the products that have been selected as the best of gifts for this year's Mother's Day guide. I've been having fun testing out a lot of different products, and my staff has been researching different products. So we'll be recommending some products, and stay tuned for that. That will be next week, and it will also be on my blog at the marialiberattishow.com. And there will also be a downloadable Mother's Day guide this year, which I will tell you more about next week. And let's see, you can find me at marialiberati.com, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on Twitter or X at Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati, on Vimeo at Maria Liberati, our YouTube channel, The Maria Liberati Show. And you can also find The Basic Art of Italian Cooking by Maria Liberati on the Binge Networks. We're on the Binge Networks now. That is my cooking series. You'll be able to find it there. And you can find my Gourmand World award-winning book series on Amazon, on Kindle, on artoflivingprimamedia.com, which is the publisher's website, and Barnes and Noble as well, and really anywhere books are sold. And as always, as I always mention, if for some reason you can't find any of the books in the Basic Art of Italian Cooking book series, please email us at info@marialiberati.com so we can make sure you can get your copy. And until next time, peace, love, and pasta.